Welcome to The Edge, a podcast from Bluntness where we unpack real-world experiences and expertise of seasoned and successful professionals across both legal and legacy cannabis. I'm your host, Harrison Wise, the founder and publisher of Bluntness. Joining us is Emily Eizen, a multi-talented, multi-hyphenate artist, photographer, sculptor, model, designer, painter. Did I miss anything else, Emily? Welcome to The Edge.
Creative director, and a few other things, but we'll get into it.
A lot of adjectives, like I said, a multi-hyphenate, very talented artist. Thanks for being here. So tell us, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Emily Eizen. I'm 25 years old. I've been in the cannabis industry for about 5 years. And I'm a photographer and overall creative entity. I do a bunch of different creative stuff. I got my start as a bartender, and then it turned into me creating content for dispensaries and cannabis brands. And then it kind of just evolved into something bigger and something that's just taken my full-time art practice to like the next level. So hard to put it down into a box. I could get that. That's the beauty of being a creative. You can't be put in a box. Tell us about your creative process. So how does cannabis sort of permeate your ideation, creative process? Why don't you share a little bit about how that comes together for you? Definitely. Well, I feel like cannabis played a large role in me kind of deciding to choose a different path and like become an artist full time and kind of like drop out of school, as a freshman in college. But it really, so I've been an artist my whole life. Art has been something that's like always felt like a safe place, ever since like sixth grade. But I like never smoked weed all through high school, and then I went to college to study political science because I got really into activism and social justice and things like that when I was in high school. But when I went to college for political science, there was like a total lack of creativity around me and my environment, and like the things I was doing just weren't feeding my soul at all. And then I met my best friend, who's also my roommate, and she kind of introduced me to cannabis, and it just felt like my mind completely just like open to like the entire universe. It might not sound corny, but like it really changed my life, and I just knew that like I needed to follow that spark. And I moved home to Los Angeles. I was taking art classes at Santa Monica College, and also at the same time working as a bartender in the medical cannabis space. This is pre-recreational.
Gotcha. So I'm curious, as a teenager, how come cannabis wasn't prevalent in your community, in your circles as a teenager? Is it not cool anymore because it was?
No, it was. I tried it once, and honestly, like it just burned my throat. It was like one of those first times when I was a teenager, and it just burned like so bad. Like, I'm doing this again. But honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of glad that I was, a little intimidated by it at that age because I'm like already fried enough brain cells as like as an adult. But like, if I started back then, I feel like maybe
Maybe nothing left, right? Nothing left.
something to work with.
Awesome. Do you have a preferred medium to work in? So photography seems to be the most sort of prevalent. But what is your preferred creative format?
Well, that's a good question. I feel like all of my different things that I do have kind of just like blurred into one thing. So for example, like photography is the way that I make most of my income. So that's like more like a career. So I don't know, but then I started incorporating my personal art practice, which is like painting, like more like fine arts, through painting and mixed media or whatever. But I started incorporating my photography into that and started doing art on my photography. So honestly, it's kind of like blended into one thing. But I would say for like as like a meditation and more just like personal well-being, I would say like painting is like what I love to do. But in terms of like my livelihood and like what I really love and like just want to learn more and more about and pursue more is photography, especially like editorial photography, and incorporating my art, mixed media art into that as well. So kind of all blending in, but yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
When you're working with cannabis brands, what would you say that process is like? I'll share a little bit about my own experience working with brands because I also run an agency that serves cannabis brands across PR and content and social. It takes a specific brand to kind of do some of the experimental stuff that you create for them. Have you like honed in on what those like specific characteristics are? I think it takes a very confident and brave, risk averse brand or a very confident brand to kind of move in the direction of the type of stuff that you create.
Yeah, I think I do have a very specific aesthetic as Emily Eizen, and like my brand is obviously very like bright and colorful and all those things, and also it does incorporate a lot of like social justice elements and diversity and all that stuff. But I don't know, I can do more like traditional like plain like I get told a lot that like my work is like girly or like very feminine, but like I can my portfolio has shown that I have been able to adapt to like techy, more masculine looking brands and stuff like that. But I will say the brands that have taken on some of my most favorite projects have been brands that it's usually honestly like brands that have women like at that kind of decision making point where it's like okay, let's hire like a creative person and somebody else like someone. I feel like it's more often not women that have like given me a chance. But I will say it's just brands that want to kind of see more on the avant-garde like forefront of cannabis culture rather than I don't know, just the same things that we've seen before in like traditional marketing.
Yeah, I feel like those brands are far and few between, which maybe is a good thing, right? I think it helps separate them and distinguish them from the herd, to your point, where most cannabis brands across the country, regardless of the market, are sort of doing a lot of the same old. So those that are experimental or non-traditional or innovative, I think really set themselves apart by collaborating with artists like yourself, music talent, or other creatives.
For sure, and I think more and more brands are kind of coming around to the fact that art is essential to cannabis culture, and they need to kind of get on board with that. And I'm open to working with all brands, that align with my values. And there are a good number of brands that are interested in what I do, so it's definitely reaching more people than I ever expected. And then even outside of the cannabis space, a lot of like mainstream publications and brands are recognizing the power that this industry has. The shoot I just did with Cheech and Chong for Leaf magazine, like really kind of went viral and broke into the mainstream, and it was being shared by magazines like Complex and all these different Twitter pages and whatever. So it's really reaching like the forefront of the culture. I think we can ignore that. I think brands see that and want to be part of it.
For sure. feel about AI influencing art in the way that it is right now? There's a lot of yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm seeing in my industry, from just a written content perspective as well as other impacts. But as an artist, yeah, how are you either using it or what's your feeling on AI?
I actually have been using it in terms of there are some programs that will like edit photos and create cool filters and all this stuff, which I personally have been utilizing. It's kind of scary, but I think people are like, oh, it's gonna take our jobs or whatever. But I do think that like people like me who are in those jobs and like do graphic design work and stuff, they still need someone to like work this program, or like understand like that. I've been working with it. I haven't been like having it do everything for me, but like if it can like edit, something that would take me hours and I can just tell it to do something, I'm definitely use it. But it's definitely scary. I mean, in terms of like copyright, like and like intellectual property and all that, it's like kind of scary. Because I also put my art there out on the internet, and AI is undoubtedly using it to maybe contribute to other people's artwork. So it's like I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of like appropriation and whatever. So that's like the scary part. But in terms of like using it in my practice, it's been kind of fun, like just experimenting with it.
Yeah, interesting. Because I was just telling a friend yesterday at lunch, I've seen some amazing stuff come out of these visual AI tools, but every time I try to use it, I get nothing close to a usable piece of art or creative. I don't know. I think I'm good enough at the input in order to get the right output. I give it like the style, I give it very specific parameters, and it just spits out something that like my 3-year-old might create. So it's completely unusable. But I've seen some like remarkable creative stuff coming out of it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So it's interesting to see how an artist would actually apply it and get it to deliver what it's intended to deliver, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely something I think is just going to be coming out of the bowl that everyone is just going to have to get on board with or just miss the boat because it's everywhere now. It's like, you have to learn it or it's going to replace you, low-key. My girlfriend was showing me how she uses ChatGPT and like she always says hello or like hi chat. But like, so she's like, when I take over, like, I won't be on the bad list. So now I do it too. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
That's actually a pretty smart thing to do. To get on the AI's good side, just in case. You never know.
I feel like it's already happening.
For sure. All right. Well, let's not get all too all Black Mirror over here. Let's keep it light and fluffy because yes, there are some ramifications that are to be realized, and I think we all just need to be go into it with both eyes open. I think that's really the key. Because it is happening, it's moving fast. So we just need to really be aware of the potential. Let's see. What do you think are some of the the specific question I had jotted down. Look at my notes here. What do you think are some of the who are some of the more sort of creative forward brands? I know you've worked with a few specifically, but who do you feel are some of the more who lead with creative, I think, versus sort of the product? Some cannabis brands are product centric, others are more creative. Who are the more creative brands that you see in the marketplace? Some that that you either work with or have seen out in the wild.
That's a good question. I mean, I think Stone Road always kind of has a good network of content creators that people on Instagram, like it's just a bunch of really beautiful photography. I worked with them a bunch. I think the brands I haven't worked with, but like I always like think of as like the artsy, like really just like high end creative, like creative is Pure Beauty because their stuff is just like really visually like different. I think from other brands. I love Houseplant. I think that brand definitely has an amazing creative catalog. I personally have their ashtray, so I just love it. There's so many brands. I think Sunday School is a really creative brand. But shout out to all the brands that I worked with because obviously, like, I mean, I worked with like Glass House Farms, I've worked with Kush Queen, I've worked with, a bunch of different brands. But there are some that are like really next level in terms of like art and design.
There are brands that aren't necessarily like, bad or like uncreative or boring that I would love to work with and help them tell a better story visually and like elevate them, just the same as I would want to work with any like celebrity brand. I think it just like is a matter of alignment in terms of like mission and like just like what they also bring to the industry. So I don't want to alienate anybody, but
yeah, for sure. Do you see any contrasts between East Coast, West Coast, or mid, the flyover states, Missouri, Oklahoma, Michigan? Have you expanded into those markets, or
No, I was honestly gonna say like it's definitely something I'm looking into, and I'm actually talking to some East Coast brands right now. But in terms of like my expertise and experience and like the brands that I've worked with, it's like probably 99% like California market.
Okay.
But seeing the way that that's going, I would love to expand to New York or any state that's opening.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's not doing well. I mean, they're trying to like propose all these bills to like save it because it's like suffering, but I know there's a bunch of layoffs, and it's not a lot of brands have like a lot of capital to work with, especially when it comes to like creative.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, I'm positive. I really hope that it can get back on its feet.
It will.
Yeah, there's kind of like a race to the bottom going on right now, I would say.
Yeah, it's time will tell, but all industries have, ebbs and flows. This is an ebb and flow in the California market. It's happening elsewhere too. It's not just unique to California. Every market has its own growing pains. Certainly California is more mature than most. I guess one of the questions I was curious about is with your creative, and it lives predominantly on social, how do you sort of strike the balance between being as creative as possible, but yet still sort of operating within the confines that most of these social platforms have, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook? How do you strike that balance where, if you went, super creative and like carte blanche, much of it may get flagged or shut down on Instagram. So how do you kind of find that middle ground where it can live within these ecosystems and still meet the objectives of the campaign?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. I mean, for me, I think when I shoot for like, let's say a social campaign for like a cannabis company that's going to use it on social, where that stuff is like very sensitive, I think it's a lot of implied, use, but also I think taking a wide range of shots. So like most of the shots that I love and are my favorite, there's like a bunch of smoke and, someone's like taking a hit, but that's obviously gonna get flagged. So like having a usable version and then like a smoking version is like one way to kind of like get around that. But I don't think you necessarily have to be like smoking in every shot for it to be an effective cannabis campaign. And it's just like finding creative ways to do that. I mean, I don't censor my actual artwork, or not actual artwork. I mean, like I don't censor my physical artwork, like my paintings and stuff. There's like nudity or whatever would probably get flagged on TikTok or Instagram. Like I still do those things, I'm not going to just stop because I want to share it. But I mean, it's all about finding balance between the algorithm and creativity. So, I mean, that's something I would like to say that I'm specialized in. I mean, I knock on wood, I've never had my account shut down, but I'm definitely shadow banned. But I mean,
who isn't?
I like to make art as if, if like social media was banned, like I would still have something physical to like hold on to, whether it be a print or, a painting or, I can't have 100% of my practice be only social media because it's kind of soul sucking also, to only create for social media.
Totally. Are you exploring Web3, and do you think that is like sort of the metaverse? Do you think that that's a very real sort of next phase for either cannabis or advertising, branding in general? Are you dipping your toe into those digital waters?
I've minted like one NFT or two NFTs. It's not something, it's honestly like something my girlfriend is like way more savvy in, and she's always talking about. So I don't want to be like, whatever. I think it's something that a lot of people are really passionate about. Me, myself, Listen, I just got on TikTok. I'm making video content. I'm adapting to the video market. As a photographer, I'm adapting. But it's like, okay, give me a minute to adapt to this before I have to adapt to like the next like mind-blowing thing. I definitely would love to like work with more brands and people who have more like technical expertise of Web3. I did a collaboration and there was an NFT that went with it. And, that's something that I think is really cool, like kind of like partnering with someone who has a bigger platform in that space. And like, but, I definitely think it's like valid and cool. I don't want to bash it, but I personally am not like super into it.
Me neither. Not yet. Still exploratory at this point, but, where do psychedelics fit into either your creative process or overlap with the cannabis industry? Are you seeing a lot of the influence of psychedelics?
Definitely. I mean, it obviously has a inspiration point, in my work. I think my work is very psychedelic inspired. Personally, I don't do it very often. It's not something like every time I do art, I will take psychedelics, but I think like microdosing and that kind of protocol is definitely my cat just like walked in and like it was funny. Sorry. Yeah, psychedelics. I mean, I love the occasional mushroom trip. You know, I'm not gonna lie, and I definitely think it's the next frontier in terms of, you know, now that the cannabis industry is legal in a lot of states, I think mushrooms are next for sure. And I think there's so many benefits to that.
So was the psychedelic aesthetic something that you were attracted to prior to experimenting with psychedelics itself, just in terms of like an era or a time period?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always been into this kind of like vintage,
right, 60s,
60s and 70s like aesthetic. But I think I really fell in love with it once I, you know, discovered like cannabis, and then I really kind of delved more into it. And then that's when I like also experimented with psychedelics. And now, you know, I experimented with, you know, I've taken LSD like once, and then I've done mushrooms like, I mean, probably 10 times in my life, and every time it's been amazing. So I definitely like the night before that Cheech and Chong shoot, I did mushrooms. Like after everything was planned out, I did like, that was definitely a time that I used psychedelics to help me prep, get in the mindset for like a creative moment.
Nice. Sounds like fun. Tell us a little bit about working with celebrities. What's that like from your perspective as someone who's young? You know, Cheech and Chong, sort of a throwback. But what's it like working with celebrities in the way that you've been working with them? What is it like? Is it you know, don't have to give us too much dirt, but just, you know, give us a little bit of a window into that.
Actually, Cheech and Chong, they were really funny, and you know, they definitely have like a banter going back and forth, and you know, I love it. I mean, I love kind of being on those like that level of production where it's like I have to conduct myself in a certain level, and it honestly like forces me to kind of get out of my comfort zone. And you know, you have to, you know, not be shy. You have to like be able to like just work with them as if they were any other client. So
those folks that are creative themselves, I would consider Cheech and Chong to be creatives, you know, having come from the world of film and television. Are they collaborative, or do they very much take a backseat to your
down. They were direction? Down. It took a little bit of, you know, because some of the outfits were definitely, they ended up loving them, but they were, you know, very fashion forward outfits, like very colorful, pink, yellow, like everything. And they were down, they loved it. And it honestly paid off. And like something that I really wanted to do with Cheech and Chong is bring them into kind of this generation and like reintroduce them as, you know, because they are cool, but like they need like kind of, you know, rebirthing them or something like for this new era was something that I really wanted to do. And that's like something I want to do with all my work, like bringing the next generation, you know, and the past generations into kind of a new era, I would say.
I think art for sure is one of the ways to do that. We worked years ago with MedMen around the time that they introduced the Stoner campaign, which I think was very, you know, sort of groundbreaking at the time, and really did help sort of give a visual sort of template for destigmatization and kind of what a stoner is. And it's, you know, it's your grandmother, it's a firefighter, it's a nurse, you know, people that you encounter, you know, throughout your daily, you know, comings and goings. So, you know, the power of art and visual, you know, content advertising specifically is tremendously powerful when deployed correctly. So, you know, congrats to you on kind of continuing that and making cannabis accessible through your art and your various formats. Cool. How do people find you, Emily?
At Emily Eizen on Instagram, TikTok. My website is emilyeizen.com. Twitter, same thing, Emily Eizen with a Z.
Awesome. Well, this is The Edge with the Bluntness. We had a great chat with Emily Eizen. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.